Why, hello there YouTube, and welcome to a Who review. I am Davros and I am a Whovian, and today I am reviewing Doctor Who, Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways. So this is a two-part story from Series 1, and it is the Series 1 finale from 2005, and yeah, the first finale of the revived era. So in this one, the Doctor, Rose and Captain Jack find themselves in reality game shows. The Doctor finds himself in a futuristic Big Brother. Rose finds herself in a futuristic The Weakest Link with a robot called the Android, because it's Anne Robinson and it's a droid, the Android. And Captain Jack finds himself on What Not to Wear with a robotic Trini and Susanna. And you know, they have to find out what's going on, because they soon discover that these reality game shows aren't as what they seem, as they have deadly consequences, because the loser gets disintegrated and the winner gets to live. And the Doctor's not standing for any of that, so then he goes to investigate and break out of Big Brother, which he does do, only to discover he's been there before. 100 years before, he was there on Satellite 5, because that's where it is, Satellite 5. And 100 years before, that's where he was when the events of the Long Game took place, which I have reviewed before on this channel. The Doctor has to find out what's going on, and when he does, he goes up to the control room and discovers this controller. This woman hooked all these wires, and they're her masters. Then she gets teleported and we don't know what's going on. But then we discover that Rose also doesn't make it on the Weakest Link and she gets disintegrated. Well, so we discover. We actually find out that the beam is actually a teleporter, and they get teleported to across the universe, where we discover they get teleported onto a Dalek ship where some Daleks take human DNA and create new Daleks out of them. And the Doctor makes the discovery that they survived the Time War, but how? Only to discover that the Dalek Emperor had survived the Time War and reached into the dirt and revived the Daleks, Davros's creation. And only the Doctor can stop them, but he's willing to destroy half the universe if it means stopping the Daleks. And of course, does he do that? Well, he sends Rose back home because he don't want her caught up in this, but she refuses to say goodbye to the Doctor and manages to tear open the TARDIS heart once again and stare into the vortex. And of course, by doing that, she destroys the Daleks and the Emperor, and the Doctor, he then gets Rose and realises that she has the vortex in his head, so he sacrifices himself to save Rose by giving his life for hers, which triggered his regeneration and causes him to regenerate into the much-loved 10th Doctor. And then it ends there. So, I've given you enough on the plot details, so let's just get on to my likes and dislikes about this one. First of all, the likes. I love Christopher Eccleston in this, as always. For his final adventure, he put a great show and a great performance, and I liked how he sacrificed himself for Rose. You know, the way Rose told him she could see everything, all that was and all that is. For a moment I thought the TARDIS was kind of talking through her, because she did also explain the Bad Wolf, going, I am the Bad Wolf. Because Rose also discovers that, you know, the phrase Bad Wolf is everywhere, and she's thinking, what is Bad Wolf? We find out that it's a message that the TARDIS sent out, but we never really get a full explanation on that until the 50th anniversary special, the Day of the Doctor. And that. We also discover that, you know, the Doctor, he then says to Rose that she thinks she needs a doctor and kisses her. Now, I think, you know, this is something that the Doctor had not been wanting to do throughout the entire series. Yeah. It was something that, you know, he had to do to save her. He kissed her and took the vortex out of her head and put it back into the TARDIS but it also triggered his regeneration. I like that final scene with the Ninth Doctor and Rose, the way they just, like, are in the TARDIS. The Doctor's having a bit of a banter, trying to act as everything's okay, but of course he can't restrain the change in him for much longer, and then he regenerates into the 10th Doctor. The way he tells Rose he's taken her to Barcelona, not the city Barcelona, the planet Barcelona, telling her there's dogs there with no noses, but then regenerates, and after he changes, he then resumes his discussion on Barcelona, and it ends there. Now, I like the regeneration. For me, I'm getting this out of the way first, for me and my generation, we were a whole new generation of kids that didn't know what regeneration was. For us, this was a really interesting thing, and I found it fascinating, and it explained to me why actors have changed so much over the years, thinking, so that's why the actors changed so much. So for me, it gave me the introduction of the regeneration properly, even though I said my earliest memories are of the 7th Doctor regenerating into the 8th Doctor. I was only 5, I had very little understanding of it then, and that, even though it was my first taste of Doctor Who, I never really processed it off. I thought of it scary and that. This to me was the proper first regeneration I got to experience, seeing the Doctor change, shooting out to beams of light and energy. So yes, yeah, I liked that, and the way David Tennant just came into it. And for Rose, she was like our representative, because like us, we had no idea what was going on. She had no idea what was going on, and that. Okay, so now we got the regeneration lights out of the way. I also liked that they had, reality game shows, which at the time were quite big at the time. We had the Doctor that found himself in Big Brother in the far future, in the year 200, 100. And we had the Davina droid in that, and the Doctor knew something fishy was going on, and, just thought, nope, I'm going to get out of this if it means if people die because they can't win or out. And then Rose is in the weakest link, and that. And at first she thinks it's funny till she realises people get killed if they get voted off, and they don't do the walk of shame. Then we also have Captain Jack in What Not to Wear, which for him, he has the more pleasant experience, because he doesn't realise how evil or sinister this is until the Trini and Susanna droids say to him, no, it's time for the face off. Literally taking his face off. And Jack, he was so cringy and cheesy. I just loved his character. The way he just said, am I naked in front of millions of viewers? And his eye going, I think your view figures just went up. They had some comedy in there. Just, funny. And that. Yeah, it was just, cringy and funny and all that, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it was, a fun episode, I thought. Do excuse the noise outside. Mum and Dad, I got the window open because it's warm in here, and Mum and Dad are sitting in the car going. Yeah, and also Captain Jack in this, he actually puts up a good fight against the Daleks, because in this we discover that Jack actually dies holding the Daleks off for the Doctor, and then Rose comes with the TARDIS and resurrects him, but she couldn't control it. She brought him back forever, which we find out in Utopia that the Doctor explains to him. And then they leave Captain Jack there, and I'm thinking, wait, what's going to happen to him? Because we don't see Captain Jack until around about a year later in the spin-off series Torchwood, and there were many plot holes, like how did he end up there? How has he ended up in the present and that? I mean, it all gets explained eventually in Series 3 and that, but yeah, for the time, for that moment, we thought, what's happening with Jack? Yes, so yeah, I like the Daleks in this, I mean, we got one Dalek in this series from episode 6 Dalek. In this, we got an entire fleet of them. And when I saw this in Doctor Who, I was excited for it. But then, it had a cliffhanger endings because it was to be continued, which I was unaware at the time that it was a two-parter. I also like the Emperor Dalek in this. At first, when we see it in the preview, when they say, they survive through me, thinking it's that Davros, but then it turns around, it's the Dalek Emperor. Which is not Davros, but he is the Emperor of the Daleks. And we never got to see the Dalek Emperor again after that one, I felt like the Emperor Dalek, he was the main villain in this finale. Because he was controlling the Dalek fleet and he was doing all this, that and the other. And at one point, when the Doctor had the bomb ready to destroy the Daleks in half the universe, saying, humans will find a way to survive, it was like, I'll do it. And the Emperor tested him, saying, can you, though? Are you a killer or a coward? And the Doctor, he realises that he can't do it because he's a coward. But that's when Rose comes to the rescue. So in many ways, the Doctor kind of did himself a bit of a favour there, sending Rose back, because she was refusing to say goodbye. We also had a little moment in this with Jackie and Mickey in the present day when the Doctor dropped Rose back home. And at this point, I think Jackie sort of accepted that Rose, she's not going to let the Doctor go like that, and yeah, I think that at this point she embraces that, she's travelling with the Doctor now, she's aware of these dangers and she's going to let her do them because she loves her and that. What else did I like? Oh yeah, I also like that this had a few guest stars. It had, at the time, former No Angels star Joe Joyner, who eventually went on to be Tanya Branning in EastEnders. We also had, the actual Anne Robinson and the actual Davina McCall, the voice of Davina McCall playing the Davina droid, and the actual Anne Robinson voicing the android, and we had Trini and Susanna voicing their android counterparts. So I like that they got them lot in it. Yeah. My dislikes. You know what? I don't really have any dislikes about this finale, about this two-part story. I think it was very well written by Russell T Davies. It was a great finale, great way to wrap up the first series of the revived era, and this was just the beginning. It wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the revived era, where we would see more Doctors, more episodes, more adventure, more action. I guess my one dislike is that the Ninth Doctor had left. When I first heard about that, saying he's packing it in and that, I'm thinking, so what's going to happen now? Then we find out that's the Regeneration. So in many ways, I kind of wish Christopher Eccleston had stayed, but in many ways I'm kind of glad he went, because he explained the Regeneration for us. Maybe if he stopped for a second series, that would be good, but yeah, he did a great performance. He had a great run as the Doctor. Even though it was one series, I felt like we got to know him really well. Now, I think Christopher Eccleston was good, but I think David Tennant was better. So, yes, Christopher Eccleston, he put up a great final show for this one. So, yeah. Okay, so, final thoughts and ratings. What am I going to rate this? So, Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways was a good finale that I enjoyed a lot. So with all that being said, you know what? This for me gets a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 for Bad Wolf and the Parting of the Ways. So that's it for this Who review, and that's it for my Series 1 Doctor Who review. So yeah, now I have a full playlist of Doctor Who Series 1 of the revived era. Because, I mean, I may not have reviewed them all in chronological order, but I'm glad to have finally got all them stories of the Ninth Doctor up on my channel. So yeah, you can check all of them out. I will leave a link for the playlist at the end of this video. So yeah, let me know, what do you think to this two-part finale from the Ninth Doctor? Let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All of my social media links are down below in the description. I have been Davros the Whovian, so yeah, until next time, run for your life.